Taking a customer-driven approach to business has gained a lot of momentum in recent years, and very often it leads to becoming a sales-led organisation and apparently completely missing the mark on what customers actually want. For more, I'm joined by Leah Rankin, Chief Product Officer at SiteMinder. It's wonderful to see you. First of all, what is customer centricity? Take us through it.
Yeah, so customer centricity is essentially making the customer the centre of everything you do. Now, obviously, as anyone building software solutions for customers, this is, of course, really important. But what can happen, and in fact, I've seen this happen a number of times, is that businesses can then focus on the customer need over the customer experience. That can result in businesses putting people in front of the customer, and that's the best way to understand the needs for those customers and get that feedback. But what then happens is businesses will then use that feedback for their strategy, and often that results in prioritising new features, new products, and ultimately prioritising sales above everything else.
Yeah, it's interesting stuff. I think we can get excited about new, add more, but perhaps that's not what the customer's actually looking for at the end of the day. How can taking a customer-driven approach to business strategy and I guess growth as well lead to becoming a more sales-led organisation?
Yeah, so because of that focus on the need, because of that prioritisation of new products and new features, businesses do quite often become very sales-led. They will grow large sales organisations, possibly even large onboarding organisations, and often interactions within those teams and with the customer happens outside the product. As an example, a company who is more sales-led would use an aggressive marketing campaign to bring customers in top of funnel. They may even use nurture campaigns that sit outside the product to do cross-sell or upsell to existing customers. So what this does is it often points back to the sales team. The sales team will then be responsible for bringing customers into the product. So businesses who have this strategy often, interestingly, also end up having a human-led support organisation. And whilst that can work for some businesses and certainly where there's complex technology, perhaps in an industry where there is a lot of legacy tech or legacy processes, it can certainly help. It certainly helps to stay close to the customer. But I truly believe to really understand that customer and to really empower businesses, you need to take a product-led approach, which puts the product at the centre of everything.
Okay, well, let's talk a little bit about the benefits of adopting that product-led approach instead. Take us through what you've witnessed.
Yeah, so instead of focusing on the customer need, the shift becomes a focus on the customer behaviour and really understanding what that customer behaviour is. So this is done by looking at how customers interact with the product, looking at data. So you become very much obsessed with looking at data trends, looking at how customers are using the product. Not that customer feedback's not still important, of course it is, but it's really shifting that bias and looking at that data. Then you take those interactions, you take that feedback, you take those insights, and you build out really intuitive, simple user experiences within the product. And instead of needing large sales organisations, large onboarding organisations, you actually build the sales and the onboarding experience into the product. So I'll give you an example. So the example I mentioned before with the aggressive marketing campaign, for a product-led solution, what would happen instead would be you would really understand why and where customers are searching for a new solution. You would then make sure you're attracting those customers to your website, making sure your content is relevant for those customers. You would build a really frictionless sign-up process so they can get into the product and start to experience it. And usually you would give them a free period. I'm sure you've heard of the freemium mode, of course, very, very common with a lot of SaaS businesses. And that's really about letting them experience the product for free for a period of time, or possibly even up until when they've completed certain tasks. And that really allows, obviously, businesses to get closer to the customer, understand their behaviour, but it also adds real value because it means that you can have a much more scalable solution for companies like SiteMinder. It means you can scale further in global markets, but it also means means you can be closer to the customer behaviour and really make sure you're building out those seamless and intuitive experiences to make sure the product is actually being used and becomes an integral part of their day-to-day.
Absolutely. We don't want to be wasting time and, of course, product as well when it comes to manufacturing and getting things out there. But Leah, if people want to find out more, just to finish, where's the best place to go and connect with you and your team?
Yes, so obviously here at SiteMinder, so feel free to contact us directly at siteminder.com. And obviously, hopefully this has given some inspiration to those out there. The shift to product-led is often difficult. Of course, it comes with a bit of a mindset shift and a focus more on continuous improvement over that build new. And so I certainly think it's well worth it. And actually, I'd probably finish on saying that I think for companies to remain competitive in today's dynamic environment, they really have to make that shift. So hopefully this provides some inspiration for some of your viewers.
Yeah, very well said by you. I want to thank you for joining us on the program and, of course, bringing this to our attention. Hopefully we get to speak again down the track.
I hope so. Thanks again.
All right, hopefully you've learned something from my discussion with Leah. There's some interesting times when it comes to balancing business and where to go. There's so much advice out there, but I think if you head down there, do your own research, find out a little bit more. I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Be well.
You're watching Ticker. We'll have more in just a few minutes.